not your kidney to take. I'm sorry. Nobody. This is not a voluntary procedure.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Yes, we are officially, well, actually, I guess we were already in the month of April last week.
We were in the month of April last week. We are in April now, officially in April.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Oh, God. Time's just going by way too fast.
So do you have any goals, aspirations for the month of April, Rose?
My goal is to just, stay sane. You?
Probably the same. Just try to, live my best life and
catch up on things, always. God. I feel like adulthood is just catching up.
Well, no, it's adulthood is
maintenance.
It's maintenance of things that you'll never get caught up on. Like it's actually got to the point where I'm just like, I feel like it just builds up and builds up and builds up. And I'm just like, I just don't even know.
We're never going to catch up.
No, I'm like, when am I going to fucking catch up? So I personally, I just need like a week off.
Did you do your taxes?
Yes, I did my taxes.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you do yours?
I did do my taxes. Well, I did my personal taxes. Yeah. I got taxes fucking up the wazoo,
I also have to do my business taxes.
Oh, goddamn. Yeah, you also be a businessman.
Got my business taxes, guys. I already did my personal tax.
You got an accountant?
I sure did.
I know who. Anyways.
Yeah. So
taxes. We got all kinds of random shit.
It's just like so much all the time. And I think for me, a lot of it is like house stuff.
Yes. So much of it is house stuff.
I like look around my house and I'm like, okay, I don't know, first of all, because I've only been back to Canada for just over 4 years now.
Are you going to say, I don't know how you got so much shit?
I don't know how to accumulate. Exactly. I've like, literally, I open my closet, it's like bursting. All of my like cupboards are like full of stuff. And I'm like, I really just want like I need a week where I strategize my entire fucking house, top to bottom, every cupboard, every closet. But like, when am I going to get a week off?
Well, you could, but you keep doing other things.
I know.
This is our thing.
Well, if I didn't travel, then I would.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But like, I wish, oh God, there's not enough time, guys. There's not enough time in the day. And even if I did that and I took a week off, a couple of years later, it'll catch right back up.
I know. It's so weird. I was actually thinking about this and like, I feel like as much as I am a maximalist, I don't like to be a maximalist. And now I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm reaching the point where I'm like, I see what these minimalist people are saying because I see all my shit. I have like so much food.
You have a lot of shit, Rose?
Daniel, I don't appreciate the personal attacks.
It's okay. I do too.
I'm looking at obviously, in my defense, I work from home. I have my own business. Right. I get sent shit all the time. This is true. So it accumulates already. Okay. Yeah. It's not that I'm already like a minimalist. So on top of me being, like I have products already on my own, I'm getting sent shit. And of course, like this is like first world problems, but anyway, so I get a bunch of shit and then it accumulates. And even, obviously I cook for a living essentially. Yeah. So I have like shit in my freezer that's jam-packed all the time. I have shit in my fridge that's jam-packed all the time, but I have to buy new shit because I have to do more recipes. Yeah. I can't just like fucking not buy new shit because I still got to make recipes. And then
God damn, Rose, it's crazy as hell.
I know. So I need a week to just like purge. But I'm so bad at purging.
You know what I was thinking you could do, Rose? I thought about this the other day because you always like, obviously you have to cook so much food for your channel, right? You should do like maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks is like have friends come around, but like charge them like not a lot.
Oh my God, I wouldn't charge them.
But it could be like a side hustle, Like,
Daniel,
hey guys, you guys
Daniel, I'm not charging my friends to eat my leftover food. Okay.
Well then,
let's not be ridiculous here.
Okay, then once
that's some white people shit. Okay. I saw this TikTok.
Yeah.
That reminds me of this girl that was like, is it bad that I charge, this went viral, okay?
Yeah.
She's like, is this bad that I charge my friends for their kids to eat at my house? And then somebody stitched it and was like, that's some white people shit.
Yeah. I was just more thinking from the angle, like if you were doing it on a regular basis, but like.
No, Daniel, I would not charge my friends. I would allow them to eat for free.
So maybe once or twice a month.
You're just asking for an invitation.
Yep. And once or twice a month, you just have a bunch of friends over and just like get rid of a bunch of stuff.
I know, but then see, it's also awkward as well because I don't like to. When you cook for the channel, right? I'm taking photos and stuff, and then like it becomes like leftovers. And I still want, when people come over to eat food, I still want to make it somewhat presentable. Like usually, I'm just like stuffing shit in my Tupperware. So it might add. I mean, it might help, and I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
But it might also like add extra work.
Or
you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, you don't have to make it look pretty for me. Just be like, here you go, Daniel. Fucking take whatever. And I'm like, yeah.
I know. I need to just like purge and give you. Oh, I already gave you some shit.
Yeah, I know.
I need to give you more shit.
I'm very much a benefactor of this situation. Like
even today, I was making food for. I was actually doing like some like extra filming and photos, and you get to enjoy it after.
I know. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. We gonna have dinner after this.
We gonna have dinner, and so it's. But yeah, it's like, and then there's clothes. I love clothes, but then they also add up, and then you're just like, okay, so. But then also, I'm like, do I want to get rid of all the old stuff? I still wear some of the old stuff.
This is the hard part. There's that. Then there's the food. There's the clothes. Then on top of the stuff, which we haven't even talked about yet, because we're talking about organization and a lot of stuff. Cleaning on top of that.
Oh God.
Yep. Then we have socialization, trying to make time for friends.
I know.
Then on top of that, we have travel, and then on
work. We haven't even talked about work.
Then we have work on top of that. Fitness on top of that.
Yes.
And on top of all of that, we also have, oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
Family?
No, family, yes.
Yes.
That family as well. And then on top of that, also managing your personal finances. There's not enough fucking time.
There's not enough time.
I was like, it's funny. The reason I'm in this, like, I'm not in a mood, but I was just like, today,
you're a bit crazy. You're crazy.
I was crazed.
And I'm
today.
crazed every other day.
It's just like today, I did actually get quite a bit of stuff done. And yesterday I did this like amazing meal prep, and I was like so proud of myself. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I was just thinking like, I like looked around my house. And I was like, fuck, I still have to organize this cupboard, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so I just felt very like, I was like reflecting, and I'm like, holy shit, how do people do this with kids?
Well, this is why you have to have a partner when you have kids, because goddamn, imagine doing that solo.
Oh my God, I can't.
I think you just have to we just both need to make peace with the fact that we're never going to get it fully done.
Oh,
But then, I feel like some people just have their shit together.
I know, and some people you go over and they're like,
I feel like it just naturally works for some people.
Oh, but I feel like those people like just don't really go out much. They're like very.
We definitely do more than most people.
Exactly. Like if we were literally home most of the time, organizing and doing stuff, our houses would be fucking beautiful.
That's true.
But we're like always like,
we're crazed.
Yeah.
And we put it on ourselves. But then the thing is, it's like, okay, how do you become a well-rounded person? You need to socialize. You need to go see your family. You need to travel. You need to, have hobbies and interests outside of just like work and home. You need to, you need to do you need to exercise. You need to stay fit.
Yeah.
You can't just like sit around all day. And especially with jobs nowadays, you're sitting around all the time.
Yep.
So you have to make extra time for those like, fitness activities. So all of those things combined, like you can't be a well-rounded person and not be crazed.
Yep. It was funny because so one of my good friends, just last thing on this topic, and then one of my friends I ran into, not ran into her, we were at this birthday party last week, and she was talking about she made this Facebook post.
Okay.
And she's got 2 young kids and stuff, and it was so funny because I like bugged her so much about it, because I was like, but it's true. She was like, her Facebook post is basically like a cry for help. And she's like, guys, I go back to work full time, because she has her own business.
Sure.
Like, it's busy, obviously, in the summer.
Right.
And she was like, I'm go back to work full time, 2 kids, keeping a house, doing this. Like, how do people do it?
Right.
Like, give me some tips, give me some advice. And people are like, a lot of people in the comment section are like, get a cleaner. Right. Like things like this to kind of like take some pressure off.
But that's also expensive. Like, that's another thing. It's like, not everyone can get a cleaner. Not everyone can get all of the extra help.
Exactly.
God damn.
Oh, but anyway,
I might get a cleaner.
I think it's not a bad idea. Once a month, honestly, I have one once a month.
I might, yeah.
It's like maybe $150 to $200.
They just do deep cleaning, right?
Yeah, that's
so
all.
I want a cleaner for like I just want like this sounds bad, but I want to like leave my mess and I want them to clean it.
Yeah.
Like I want like a hotel kind of cleaning. You know, like hotel,
style,
you just like leave your shit and they somehow like find their way and like clean it.
Yeah.
That's what I need, because I used to use cleaners a few times. And I would feel also like extra pressure to clean everything
before they came.
And I'm like,
I never felt that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like, bleh.
But then I'm like, so then I was like, okay, maybe I'm just putting extra pressure on myself. And I didn't realize that you could, I don't know, for some reason I thought that cleaners just came in, like, I don't know, I did not grow up with fucking cleaners, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize that cleaners came in and they could just like clean your, messy ass fucking shit. I thought you had to kind of like, tidy shit so that they could just like vacuum and stuff.
Right.
But that's not what I need help with, because once my main shit is cleaned, I don't mind vacuuming.
Yeah.
I don't mind wiping the counter once all the clutter is gone.
I think you said that the main thing for you, right, is the bane of your life is dishes.
Oh, dishes.
Yeah.
It is never ending. Even today, I did the fucking dishes, and then now there's a fucking new pile of dishes, and I already did the goddamn dishes.
Rose, after dinner, I'll do the dishes.
Well, we have to see. Oh, another bane of my existence: unloading the dishwasher. Daniel, you're gonna have to help me unload that dishwasher.
Of course.
I fucking hate unloading the dishwasher.
I will unload the dishwasher, Rose. You'll just have to. Why don't you? Here's what we'll do after the podcast. We'll have lunch. We'll have dinner. You sit, and I'm gonna pull things out of the dishwasher, and you say, "Where does it go?" I mean, it's the least I could do.
My love language.
You made me like sushi and stuff, Rose. Okay, it's the least I could do. Anyway, guys.
Anyway, that was our rant for the day.
Yep.
We do have some new patrons.
Yes,
so
we do.
We do need to give some shout outs to Mandy.
And to Kim.
Thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon family. If you guys don't know, we have our Patreon. It's patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. It's basically a little exclusive group where you can join for as little as $3 a month. And you get exclusive content every single month. You get every single episode ad-free. And every episode comes out a week earlier than everybody else.
Yeah.
So join. The link is always in the show notes or the description.
It sure is. Let's jump in.
All right. Okay. What overwhelming stories are in the headlines today?
So,
oh, Lord Jesus.
Have you heard about this one? This one would be a bit of not a silly story, but basically Botswana in Africa.
Yes. Country of Botswana.
Apparently they have an elephant problem in that there's simply too many elephants in Botswana. That's what they're saying, allegedly. But I'm thinking, you know what? At the end of the day, like, I'm pretty sure elephants are an endangered species.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never heard of this problem.
Exactly. And this is the first I've ever, like, literally in my last like 15 years of life or 20 years of life, I've never ever heard this. So anyway, basically what had happened was Germany said that it's going to start enacting like stricter limits on the imports of like trophies and things like that. Because I think the elephant,
like trophies as in trophy hunting. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So it says the statement came after Germany. Botswana's president on Wednesday, April 3rd, threatened to send 20,000 elephants to Germany.
Threatened?
The statement came after Germany earlier this year proposed to enact stricter limits on the import of trophies from hunting animals.
Oh, okay.
So it could be that maybe they're allowed, like there's a limit or something, but...
hold on. Mm-hmm. In an interview with the German tabloid, President Masisi said such a move by Germany, one of the largest importers of hunting trophies in the European Union, would impoverish people. Okay, so it doesn't sound like they really have, I mean, do they actually have an overpopulation issue, or is this more of a money issue where they don't like the fact that Germany is now putting restrictions on how many trophies, aka dead elephants, I guess.
Yeah, I think
get imported.
I think it's twofold, because I think they did say that they did say that there's too many elephants there apparently. So Botswana, unlike its neighbors, has been a safe haven for elephants due to its stable government and small human population. For instance, after conflict spread, Botswana also implemented strict conservation policies when poaching incidents.
Were on a rise in 2013, it announced a shoot-to-kill policy targeting suspected poachers. What?
The next year, the country also imposed a ban on trophy hunting that previously took place under an official government license. For these reasons, the elephant population in the country has steadily increased, which is a positive thing. Mm-hmm. While in the early 1960s, there were fewer than 10,000 elephants in the country, the population has boomed. In the mid-1990s, the population had touched 80,000.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it was a very successful conservation policy. Mm-hmm. And today, I want to go to Botswana now. I want to go see some fucking elephants.
That sounds fucking cool.
Today, I love elephants. I think they're like one of the coolest animals.
Yeah.
Today, elephants inhabit about 40% of Botswana's land. So why?
We're on an episode of David Attenborough.
I know, right? We're getting a lesson in elephants today.
God damn.
Botswana's rising elephant population has led to a spike in human-animal conflict.
Oh God.
Oh, I see. Okay, so now media reports suggest that the animal has become a menace for the country's rural communities, regularly damaging homes, drinking water from pipes, feeding on or destroying crops, and trampling people and cattle to death. I mean, they could probably put some, like, I don't know, animal, like, I don't know, like some kind of borders in place or some kind of infrastructure to help this situation. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I guess now a large population of elephants also threatens other species and leads to significant biodiversity loss and habitat degradation. I can never say that word. But anyways,
yeah.
Is hunting the only solution? No.
It said that what Botswana has done is they've donated elephants to other countries in the region.
Yeah.
So like sending elephants to like other places, I guess, in Africa. I think the challenge with that is like, if you've ever watched like National Geographic about elephants, a lot of what they do is learned behavior through their family, through being in a certain region, right? So you typically, like, as you guys probably know, like they're led by typically a matriarch, like an old grandmother kind of figure. And she's the one that like knows where all the like watering holes are and like all this stuff and like teaches everybody. And then they, grow up and then they know. They're like, oh, okay, this is where these spots are. So,
and the dudes just wander on their own, don't they?
Yeah, they're kind of
weird.
They form like, I think initially when they're kind of younger, they form like their own little like band of like brothers.
Oh.
And then once they become fully and sexually mature, I think
they wander on their own.
I think so.
So
yeah.
how do they mate?
Well, they'll just go find a herd of females
and then
say,
just like
hey
hump
ladies,
them?
yeah, hey ladies, what's up? And then the matriarch will probably eye him up and decide if he's a good suitor, and then say, okay, ladies.
Are you just making this up now?
I am.
Okay, guys, you have to be careful when Daniel speaks because half the time he's making things up. Although I do believe the first half of what you said.
Yes.
So apparently. So they were like, donating elephants to other countries, but basically the country has lifted its ban on trophy hunting, which is very sad, in 2019.
Yeah.
And Botswana is arguing that it not only helps with limiting the number of elephants, but also boosts the local economy with hunters, often from other countries, paying as much as $50,000 for each elephant killed.
Oh my God.
It's just... anyways.
But can we just look up on your phone right now of African elephants? I'm sure they're endangered. Like,
let's see.
Maybe Botswana is the one safe haven for them, but it doesn't even sound like it's that safe anymore if they're opening up their trophy hunting now.
Yeah, elephant populations. It says with only 40 to 50,000 left in the wild, the species is classified as endangered. It is critical to conserve both African and Asian elephants since they play such a vital role in their ecosystems as well as contributing towards tourism and community incomes in many areas. So I don't understand this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But maybe they're saying just in the region of Botswana.
Yeah, that's probably
because of humans and probably the surrounding areas, there's limitations to their habitat. They can't go anywhere. So they're kind of like stuck in Botswana.
Because really, like, they could migrate to another fucking country, probably.
Because they don't follow the same borders we do.
Exactly. They don't have fucking borders. So
they're just like, fuck, we'll go wherever
Africa
the food is.
is a big continent, so they could just like fucking walk and, But for some reason, they're not able to, which I'm sure there's some kind of reason. But like, they must be. I think it's more about money. I really do. I think it's about money. The government says the practice has brought $5 million to local communities, which I understand. Like, obviously, like some countries need money and shit. Yeah. But, oh, God, there must be another way.
I know. There's got to be, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
increased tourism.
Exactly.
People love to see elephants.
I know. And this sounds really cool. Like, I kind of want to just go to Botswana for this exact reason.
Oh, my God. It's so cool. But, yeah, they are endangered. We should not be fucking killing them.
Yes.
And also just trophy hunting just disgusts me. It's like, really?
It's so
what are you
gross.
getting out of killing a fucking animal?
Ugh.
So, Western countries and animal rights advocates, hello, however, deem the practice to be unethical. Yes, I agree. Responsible for exacerbating population decline of imperiled species. Trophy hunters prefer to kill the largest and strongest animals, whose loss causes population declines. Furthermore, their contribution to the economy might also be overstated, blah, blah, blah.
Also, guys, like just on a side note here too, when we talk about like hunting and what it does, it's not just that you're like removing certain individuals from that population. I think that's a really key statement. They're removing some of the larger, strongest animals.
Right.
This is completely opposite to Darwin's theory of evolution, right?
Right.
The theory of evolution and how animal species are better at surviving is basically the strong survive, right? Like if you have certain traits that help you with survival and stuff. Whereas if you're coming in and hunting and specifically killing those members, then obviously maybe the reproduction becomes weaker, or maybe like certain traits that should have got passed on don't, because we're starting to remove animals from the population.
Strong animals from the population.
Yeah.
And like I would argue that it probably, I mean, maybe specifically in Botswana it might help with the population, but like generally hunting animals, I don't know, like, is it really going to help? And also, I just, no, for me, it's more of an ethical thing.
Yeah.
It's more of an ethical thing. It's like, we don't hunt humans when we're fucking overpopulated.
And we're
what the fuck are we
overpopulated as
doing?
hell.
Exactly. So it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
We're just playing God over here. We create the problems of, you know, all this population decline and fucking population, you know, increase in certain places. We create all of these problems because we are messing with everything. And then we're like, oh, let's just kill them to solve the problem.
It's actually crazy when you think about it, because the whole premise of like nature and the cycle of life and everything is everything kind of exists in a kind of ecosystem. Yeah, exactly. In an ecosystem that is supposed to work in such a way that this doesn't happen, right? Because it's supposed to be like, okay, you know what? You have predators, you have diseases, you have certain things, so that no one population ever becomes too prolifically like destroying the environment and all this kind of stuff,
like we are right now. Yeah.
And we have literally, what we've done is every environment that we've gone into, we've fucked it up so badly that everywhere now it's like the local like environment and those localized populations, they might exist in little bubbles, for example, or little pockets that are isolated now because of roads and construction and everything else. And it just doesn't create, maybe in Botswana, they had a large population of like, you know, certain animals. Like I know there's like some lion prides that have been known to like hunt, you know, elephants.
Really?
Like juvenile elephants, not like fully grown ones, but like maybe for whatever reason, the lions aren't able to get there as easily, or whatever it might be, right?
Like something's going on.
Exactly. Like the whole ecosystem of how everything works. It's like, even like, it kind of freaks me out, but even like with when we talk about like fishing and stuff and how we're like really overfishing.
Yeah.
And it's like that is going to have like downstream impacts to the entire fucking ecosystem in the ocean. Goddamn, guys, it's scary as hell.
Welcome to the Doom and Gloom podcast, everybody.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back with some more doom and gloom.
So now what's happening?
Basically, this is the leader of Botswana. Nothing's happened yet. Yeah. He's just said, Germany, do not enable stricter limits on the import of your hunted trophies. They represent a important part of our economy. Blah 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 blah. And then he was like, I think this is like a joke, but they're like, we're gonna send you, because people are saying, like people in Botswana are saying, the elephants are overpopulated. Try living with them yourself. So we're going to send 20,000 over to you.
So it's like kind of like a joke.
Yeah. And I heard that they were also going to send like 10,000 to like London, Hyde Park or something. You guys deal with them.
Send them to the other African countries. Like what? I don't understand.
But maybe there's not like space, or maybe there's issues.
There is space.
Yeah.
Okay. There is plenty of space. There are safaris all over fucking Africa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, send them to the Serengeti. There's plenty of space there. I'm sure they could send a few to different countries.
They could probably figure it out.
Spread it across. Not like 20,000 to one country, or like, I mean, just spread it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Spread the elephant love.
Spread the elephant love and stop killing them, guys. Oh, it's so sad. So sad. Speaking of other fucked up shit.
Speaking of things that we constantly keep.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Ugh.
So we talked about this like when this kind of technology first came into the news, I guess.
When they started talking about it, yeah.
Sure.
It was in the news, and it was kind of around using animal, is it like animal mutated parts sort of? Or like animal parts to like...
Well, it says pig to human kidney transplant.
Right, okay.
So the first pioneering pig to human kidneys was performed in the U.S.
United States of America.
Oh God. So apparently previously pig kidneys have been temporarily transplanted into those who are brain dead. So I guess that was what?
Why would they do?
Was that like the check to test if it was like fine? Yeah,
that's what I'm guessing. So
right.
probably the human trials, from the sounds of it, were on people that were like, brain dead and comatose probably, and they tested to put the pig kidney in there to see, does this work? Well, now there's the very first person, a 62-year-old man with end-stage renal disease has become the first human to receive a new kidney from a genetically modified pig. So there is some genetic modification that goes into this. From Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston. God damn.
Only 4-hour surgery.
Marks a major milestone in the quest to provide more readily
why can't we read?
I don't know.
Readily available
organs to patients. This to me is sad on so many levels.
Oh God.
Because I get it, guys. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Hey, you know what? If I all of a sudden needed a kidney or like a lung or whatever, like it sucks to be in that situation." But like this is just creating another problem for the animals, obviously.
Yes.
In a sense that, hey, we're no longer just harvesting you guys for food. Now we can come at you for all of your like organs as well, so that we can survive and fuck you guys.
Yes, exactly.
Which is really scary.
Exactly. And I know people are going to come for us and be like, "Oh, you don't understand." Like, I get that. But at the same, it's like, you have to understand, like, obviously we're coming from the vegan angle here.
Yeah.
But it's just, how many more ways can we possibly utilize and abuse animal bodies for our benefit so that we could live another like 10 years?
Yeah.
Like, and also it's like, instead, again, it's like, I can understand when you are in that situation where you're desperate.
Yeah.
If that system is in place, you'd probably want to utilize that system.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm against the whole like idea of the system in the first place, where we could be maybe utilizing that time and energy into, I don't know, promoting healthier behaviors or figuring out how to eat better so that we don't deal with these issues. And I'm not saying it's always to do with how we eat or our lifestyle, but it's our lifestyle usually that causes all of these issues, that cause us to have all of these problems with our kidneys and liver and all these things. So it's like, how many more ways? How much more could we take from these poor fucking animals?
It's,
I don't know.
It starts to really bother me because then it's like, okay, not only are we going to have the factory farms, we're now going to have factory farms. Exactly.
Because it's not like they're using, like, if you think about it, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt that they're using, sick animals that have been sitting in a factory farm all day.
Well, this is it.
For years. Yeah. And they're not going to use those kidneys to, I don't think so anyway, unless they somehow found a way to make it healthy again.
Yeah.
To like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just put yourself in the pig's position.
It's
weird.
What
I'm saying.
Well, and also we're fucking with a lot of stuff here. It says the kidney was provided from a pig that had been genetically edited to remove genes that could be harmful to a human recipient and add certain human genes to improve compatibility. My thought to this is like, you're fucking with like genetic code or whatever.
So many things.
We don't even know what the long-term impacts of this are going to be. Like,
this is such an ethical fucking... Like, I can't even believe that people are not talking about this from this angle.
I know.
Because it's like, it's such human superiority complex.
Of course,
like,
people are like, "Oh my God, we've had a breakthrough in science."
Yes, it's like, oh my God, yeah, like I get that, but also, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Imagine put yourself in the position. I know people can't do it because they're like, "Oh my God, why would I compare myself to a pig?" But put yourself in the fucking position.
Yeah.
Think about like, I don't know. I always think of like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
You've seen that movie where the tables have turned or whatever.
Yeah.
And the apes turn on the humans, and I need to rewatch that movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, apes turn on the humans, and basically humans become the apes essentially, right? And like the apes are like, fucking fuck the humans, like me.
Yeah.
So it's like, put yourself in that position, right? It's like, how much more could we possibly do to these poor animals that we are now using them for their organs?
Yeah. Well, another good example, I mean, this is a kind of a weirder example, but like, did you ever see The Matrix?
Yes, I've seen, yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, where the robots are using humans, their energy
I forgot
and
The
stuff.
Matrix. Okay.
Yeah, because remember, it's like if you take the pill, you wake up and you're like, where the fuck am I? And
yes.
You're in this like farm, basically in these like capsules.
Okay.
Where they're like, I don't know if they're like using your energy or something, and then you're in the Matrix, like in your mind. So
in your mind.
So it seems like you're somewhere else.
Right.
You're living your best life, but really you're actually, you're like a battery.
Right. That's the thing. It's like, we would never accept this for us.
Yeah.
We would never want, and again, I think I talked about this. I don't know, but there's that movie. Have you seen this? Never Let Me Go. you need to watch this. I've told you to watch it. We need to watch it. So it's basically a movie where these kids are born in, so it's like in a boarding school.
Right. Okay.
And these kids are, at first you don't really understand what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But you very quickly find out that they're in this boarding school and they're very, very strict about, you know, like obviously it's a school, but they're like extra strict about, oh, you know, you guys can't be smoking. So you guys are special. You can't be caught smoking. Basically, these kids are clones from other humans, and they've been cloned so that their bodies can be used for organs. And it's so sad. And you're just like, it's so messed up.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, I get it again. I feel like we are very, I don't want to say selfish, but like one-sided when it comes to these things. Because it's like, at the end of the day, how long are we supposed to try to make ourselves live for? Do you know what I mean? Like there's all these ethical questions around this. And it's like, you know, if you get a kidney disease and the current modern medicine minus having to fucking take kids or pigs' kidneys doesn't work right now. And there's no other people that can give you their kidney.
That's another thing.
Then maybe, I'm sorry, but like
yeah, I know it sucks.
It sucks. I hate saying that shitty.
Because, yeah, obviously, like, you know, we all want to live and all that stuff, but like how, you know, yeah, like we're getting to the point where it's like, and again, are you going to have this great quality of life for another like 50 years? And even then, like, this is not your kidney to take. I'm sorry. Nobody, this is not a voluntary procedure. Okay. They are being forced to give out their kidneys without their consent. With humans, we obviously need consent. With humans, you can't even take their kidneys or their organs unless they've consented before they die. Unless
you get drugged somewhere and they just randomly take your organs.
This is another thing. I feel like we need to promote a little bit more of like organ donor, you know, the concept of organ donations, organ donors, like things like that as well. Because I feel like, you know, by default, like, I don't know how it works, but I don't think by default you are an organ donor. You have to say you are an organ donor.
Well, and also you have to think about it too. I think there's documentation obviously that you'd have to fill out, but like, for example, like right now, I don't have it set up so that if I die, my organs get donated right away.
Exactly. So I almost feel like it should be the default.
Yeah, I really feel like it should as well.
And then if you want to opt out, you can opt out. Ooh, how about we do that first? Like, I understand. I don't really understand if people want to opt out.
Especially when you're gone. You don't need your organs no
Exactly.
more.
So like, why do we want to kill pigs to have their fucking, you know, kidneys transplanted into us when there's other options, first of all, that I feel like we can take before we start fucking killing pigs for their fucking organs. Jesus Christ, I don't know. I
think also too, guys, what we have to remember as well is when we start doing this like cross species stuff, there's a lot of risks. And I know I'm not a scientist and there's a lot more people that are way smarter than I am probably researching and doing this stuff. But like some of the issues and challenges that they face as well is think about like diseases and things that maybe certain animals get or, you know what I mean? Like we don't even know what the long-term like effects of this is going to be like. And the more... And then this is even a weirder way to say this, but you know how we're saying like with the like animal agriculture, the more crossover there is with like wildlife, there's more potential for that cross contamination.
COVID happened because of that.
Exactly. Now we're saying, hey, we're going to start putting animal organs into our bodies. Then who's to say that that's not going to happen and make us prone to other things? And like, you know, or there could be something innately in that animal's cells that could fuck up our whole body.
Oh God. And then it says here, which kills me, the team believes the pig kidney will work for at least 2 years. 2 years. We're doing this for 2 years, extra years. We don't know. I mean, they said at least 2 years. I guess we don't know. I don't know. It's just like, it's an ethical dilemma. Clearly we have our very strong opinions.
Yeah.
And I know some people like last time we talked about this, we had the same opinions and people are like, oh, you don't understand until you've been in that situation.
Until it happens to you.
Yeah, but like it seems like what I'm asking for is not an individual like, oh my God, how would I feel emotionally in that situation? I'm asking for a system that doesn't do this to pigs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the system should not be, oh, okay, when you have a kidney issue, you can just kill another animal or another being and just take their fucking kidneys. Like
that's the issue.
It's fucked up, right?
That's the challenge. It's like
this is the challenge.
It's like you wouldn't do that, for example, just to put it into a different way. Think of it like this. Imagine they decided for whatever reason, they're saying, hey, you know what? People from X country, we don't give a fuck about them anymore. We're gonna take them and we're gonna start harvesting them for organs. people will have an issue with this.
Yes,
right?
it's because it's people that people are like,
Yeah.
okay, we're like better than everybody. And I get that we have a species bias. I get it. We all do. But it's like we're taking this to the next level of like, just because we, connect with our own species doesn't mean that other species don't deserve some level of just bodily autonomy.
Yeah. But that's why this is why I think actually a good way to maybe not negate this, but like I do think that organ donation should be the default. Like if you don't fill out the paperwork and you don't do whatever XYZ, because at the end of the day, people will say what they want to say, because there's obviously people that are like, oh well, religious reasons and all this. Okay, cool. Opt out.
Yes.
But everyone else, like the masses,
I think some countries might have it like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
They probably do.
Yeah. And I
don't think it's like that in Canada though.
I don't think it is in Canada. It says here that previously, pig kidneys have been temporarily transplanted into those who are brain dead. Okay, obviously they were doing that as an experiment.
Yeah.
Kidneys from similarly edited pigs raised by Genesis had successfully been transplanted into monkeys that were kept alive for an average of 176 days, and in one case for more than 2 years. So right now, basically, the science is, it's like potentially 2 years.
Yeah. Maximum.
Well, I mean, they said at least 2 years.
Right.
That's what they think.
Well, and in one case for more than 2 years.
We don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
But this is like, guys, this is like listen to this article. We are now taking kidneys from genetically edited pigs. We're putting them in fucking monkeys. Keeping them alive for how X number, like it.
I know.
What
are we doing?
This sounds like Dr. Jekyll and fucking Mr. Hyde or something.
We are like, if you actually take, I know that because we're born in this planet, all of these crazy things are normal to us.
Yeah.
But if you like take us out of take yourself, like, I don't know, imagine you're like an alien and you're looking at all the shit that we do as human beings. God damn, we're fucking evil.
It's crazy.
Like, we're evil.
You'd look down and you'd be like, holy
what the fuck is
shit. Like, what are they doing? They're like
seriously.
fucking slicing these animals apart.
Yes.
Fucking have this assembly line of animals just being slaughtered. Like, what are these people?
Keeping them in these tiny fucking cages, and now we're just fucking taking out their livers and kidneys and just putting them in our bodies. Like, come on, you guys. Like, we need to, like, I don't know. It's gotten so far, and it's just, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Like, it's just, not only have we fucked the environment, we're fucking the animals, and it's so fucked up. And people are going to be like, oh my God, but we're human. We're better. Me.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like, it's so messed up. And then you know what's insane to me is like, because of this human superiority complex, and we think we're so, like, a human life is like just so precious, it's so important, and this is like the story we've been telling ourselves. It's like we do everything we can to just keep humans just alive, just keeping us alive. We're like obsessed, even if the quality of life is not even there. We're just obsessed with keeping humans alive. And it's like to the point where it's just, some people are just bedridden for, and I'm not saying like, we should kill off people. But it's like, it's getting ridiculous at some points.
Well,
right?
especially those countries that don't allow for, like, if you
euthanasia,
are exactly,
which
if you
is
are in that situation,
most countries, by the way.
Where like for me personally, like if I became into that kind of state, I would eventually be like, guys, like
I would like the option.
I'd like to have that option, and I wouldn't want to personally, and this might sound what's the word, like I'm trying to think what the word is, because I remember there was this like really famous movie that came out.
Yes, I know exactly. Me Before You. No. Is it Me Before You?
Me Before You, yeah. And it was about this guy that basically lived an extremely active life, was like super out there, like just doing things all the time, got in an accident, became paraplegic, could only move his like face and a little bit of his hand. Anyway, long story short, he wanted to
get euthanasia,
and there was a whole controversy around that. And the thing the film brought up in the community was like, it's like as if that film is saying the only option for somebody like that is euthanasia.
Right.
But I would argue that's not what it's saying. It's saying this could be an option for you.
Yes.
If that's the route that you want to go down.
Exactly.
It's not saying that's the only thing you have to do. Many people live like that, and they'd be happy doing it. But like maybe if you went from a hyperactive, hyper whatever to something, and you can't even do the things you love anymore, maybe you want to have that option.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like, I mean, this is very controversial, and I don't even like, I think obviously, us humans naturally, because of evolution and stuff, we naturally do want to live. Most of us don't want to die. Most of us want to live. But there's a lot of people that, I never, of course, suicide is horrible for everyone on earth involved. But at the same time, it's like, people did not choose to live here. You know, nobody chose to be born.
Yeah.
So if they want to choose to die, sometimes you're like, yeah. Like, why should people not have that option?
Yeah.
You know, suicide is illegal in countries, or I don't know. I mean, that's why euthanasia is illegal in most countries, which is so ridiculous to me. It's like, again, I get it. Like, nobody wants to see your loved one die. I don't want to see suicide. And usually suicide happens because people are depressed and they feel like they have no way out, which is very sad. And like, obviously, we should try to do everything we can to prevent it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. You should be able to die with dignity. You should be able to have that choice.
Yeah, you should be able to do that if you want to. You know what I mean? Like, we have this whole concept that you have to get old and you have to do all these things.
Why do you have to? Like, what's the ethical, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. That's our controversial
Yeah, that's a very controversial take, guys.
I mean, it shouldn't be, though. Like, doesn't it make sense? It's like...
I mean, it does. And again, why are we saying that we're entitled to be here for, you know, our natural lifespan? Like, I can't remember what people were saying, but it's a lot shorter than what it is now.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're just prolonging our lives as long as we can because we want to survive and keep being on this planet. But it's like...
I mean, I want to live as long as I can, but at the same time...
I do too, but also you have to balance out your quality of life, everything else. Like, there's so many factors to consider.
At the same time, I don't want to get a pig transplant.
Exactly. Well, and the scary thing, at the bottom of this article here, it says, the pig kidney procedure, I mean, say that thing 5 times fast, pig kidney procedure moves the field of xenotransplantation, the transplanting of organs or tissues from one species to another, closer to becoming a potential solution to the worldwide organ shortage.
Organ shortage?
Yeah.
Again.
There's too many of us on this planet to begin with.
Exactly. That's another fucking factor.
Like, there's so many of us. Like, there is so many of us. And again, like, I'm not saying, you know, people should be dying or whatever.
I know.
Else,
I love how
we
have to keep like qualifying, being like, we're not saying that we need to kill people, but at the same time, it's like, guys, we're killing off other populations of elephants for fuck's sake, for fun, for trophy hunting. And yet we are trying to keep our fucking overpopulated asses around for as long as fucking possible by literally creating technology to take a fucking kidney from a pig and put it in our bodies.
What's next?
That's how desperate we are to keep our fucking overpopulated asses that are a parasite to this planet around longer.
Alive. Yeah.
Fuck my fucking pig.
God damn. Well, Rose, you don't seem to have a very strong opinion on this one, do you?
I really need to learn to form an opinion.
You do need to learn. Like, you know, Rose, I would appreciate if you came to the podcast with a few opinions, you know, so we could have a little bit of banter on here. You know, I'm like...
We'd like to have a few discussions.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Oh, anyways.
So this is actually, to me, it's a more of a sad situation, and it's a sad... not this, but we just talked about the pig transplant, because, you know, it's just opening the floodgates to so many more of those types of things. And even saying like, ooh, this is the answer to our organ shortage. And I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, do people not think about the ethical implications of this? Because even when I was reading, even the last time we were reading that article, nobody was talking about like, you know, nobody even mentioned, oh yeah, you know, maybe this is a ethical, you know, problem.
Maybe there's ethical controversy here.
Maybe it's an ethical issue. Maybe it's like, you know, like maybe we need to look into this. It's like, no, it's just, oh, this is a scientific breakthrough. It's like, at least let's have a discussion about the ethics of it, because these are not, you know, pigs are sentient animals. Like they know, they understand what's going on. They need to be probably grown to a certain extent in order for their organs to fucking, be functioning properly. So, and what are we going to do? Just fucking have a pig organ farm? Like, oh God, it's just so dystopian to me.
It is. It's kind of it's bringing very like,
you need to watch that Never Let Me Go movie. It's a really good movie.
So this is, speaking of ethical dilemmas.
Oh God.
So this is another thing. This article, it's a little bit older. It did come out like I think it was last year.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was like an interesting one in a sense that, I mean, it doesn't come as a surprise, but it does bring up to question. So I guess there's been kind of a movement over the last little while, you know, like people that are like anti-dieting, you know, like very like, you know, like the diet is
intuitive
a bad word.
Eating, anti-diet,
all of this stuff. Yes. So it's kind of come to light, and again, not a big surprise, but the food industry is getting very involved and paying a lot of these like influencer dietitians to kind of promote and obviously shape people's eating habits in such a way, like, again, promoting this like anti-dieting,
even though they're registered dietitians.
Yes.
Ooh. That's a dilemma.
Yes. So. Well, and I would also say that a lot of and I don't want to throw too much shade, but I would I would also say that there's a lot of people out there, and this is where I think this whole industry around the like health and wellness, it is how to say this? It's overwhelming, and there's so much information out there, and there's also so many people with like very loose qualifications pushing agendas and pushing certain things, and I don't know. This just again question what you're seeing, you know.
But you know, this is a bit controversial because it's saying here that the food industry, for example, might be paying, you know, these influencers, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, as like a marketing.
But some of these people are registered dietitians, which is very concerning because if you guys don't know the difference, registered dietitians are actually people that went through like pretty, you know, extensive schooling. And they actually went through like, you know, proper like university and stuff. And they're not just like, if somebody just calls themselves like a nutritionist, usually they maybe got like a 20-minute, you know, certificate online. Yeah. Where just a registered dietitian, usually they went through at least 4 years of bachelor's degree. So basically, I guess the World Health Organization's raised questions this summer about the risks of popular artificial sweetener. But then, okay, I've heard, again, this is another thing where it's like, it's confusing.
Yeah.
Because every single person I hear has a different opinion about artificial sweeteners, like aspartame, for example.
Well, I've honestly with aspartame, I've heard again mixed things. I've heard it's carcinogenic. Carcinogenic. Thank you. That it's really, really bad for you. Like it's just like you shouldn't be having it. And then apparently, there's this new hashtag that's been going out, being like safety of aspartame. So there's a lot of like. Also, this is where I think this whole industry and this whole thing is very. I don't
know, but I've heard that. Okay, but this article is also a little bit sus because they're saying what these dietitians didn't make clear was that they were paid. Wait, were they paid? They were paid to post the videos by American Beverage, a trade and lobbying group representing Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and other companies.
Yes.
Oh.
That's why this is scandalous. That's why they're saying like you have these dietitians that are promoting.
So they've proven that they are being paid.
Yeah. At least 35 posts from a dozen health professionals were part of a coordinated campaign by American Beverage. The trade group paid an undisclosed amount to 10 registered dietitians, as well as a physician and a fitness influencer to use their social media accounts to help blunt the World Health Organization's claims on aspartame, a mainstay of Diet Coke and other sodas, is ineffective for weight loss and possibly carcinogenic.
See, this is tough because but like, again, I don't know. Maybe they were paid. I have no idea. Maybe everything I thought was right was wrong. But I've seen people that like went through the studies and were like, basically like you'd have to have, I don't know, however much aspartame in order for it to be really like unhealthy or something like this. Yeah. So like I kind of believed it. But at the same time, like, I don't know if it's being paid. And it could be that it is true that it's not that unhealthy and Coca-Cola just happens to want to spread that, right?
Yeah.
So that could be the case. Yeah. Right? So we don't know the truth behind it. This is the problem, right? Because it could be a completely, what do you call it? Like innocent campaign in a way. Like obviously it's not fully innocent. Like obviously they want to make money and stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, how would we know?
But hasn't it been proven that aspartame is cancerogenic and all this?
The thing is, some people are saying that, because I've seen people like looking at the studies and stuff, and I can't remember how they explained it, but they were basically like, you'd have to have like so much aspartame in order for it to be actually something like this. Yeah. I don't actually know. Okay. And because the normal person, such as myself, does not know how to read a scientific paper and actually weigh out like, you know, the data and figure out, you know, what's the truth.
I think kind of the issue that I'm having with all of this though is just the fact that these are people that are dietitians that are getting paid to promote.
Yeah, but what if they actually believe it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. This is why it's tough. Because what if they actually do think?
Because it says here the further analysis, and I mean, again, I don't know. The further analysis of thousands of posts found that companies and industry groups paid dietitians for content that encouraged viewers to eat candy, ice cream, and downplayed the health risks of highly processed foods and pushed unproven supplements, messages that run counter to decades of scientific evidence about healthy eating.
Right. So there's definitely some
sus stuff going on.
Yeah. Especially when you're like a dietitian.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now.
I think the hard part is like I've always tried to follow the philosophy minus my drinking is everything in moderation.
Yes.
Like I don't think like having
minus the drinking. Everything else in moderation.
Hey, I've been doing okay lately.
Me too. That's the philosophy I follow.
Yeah. But I think to myself, I'm like, okay, we should know by now, even if an influencer was promoting it to me, that highly processed foods, they're not good for you. No matter what. Like going to KFC and having a fucking plant-based burger there, or going to A&W and having the Beyond Burger, like we know that these are not good for you, right? Like this is not something you should be consuming every single day, but once in a while as a treat.
Yeah, exactly. So I think what a lot of dietitians do, which I've seen before, which I like, part of me agrees and part of me, I mean, I do kind of agree, where basically like, they're like, oh, we need like a balanced approach,
right? Where,
you don't want to be too rigid on your diet because ultimately you're probably going to, like, for example, let's say you're craving a burger, but instead you have a salad. Yeah. Ultimately, usually behavioral science teaches us that like later on, you'll probably end up eating the burger anyways or something like this, right?
Well, because your craving wasn't satisfied.
Exactly.
Or if you do make a salad, like let's say you're, try to make it like a fucking epic salad with like really good stuff in there.
Exactly.
So that you don't crave that.
So like, I kind of understand some parts of what these dietitians do, which is basically being like, you do need a balance. Like you should be able to eat, like whatever you want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of am like, okay, but you are a dietitian. Yeah. So like, you shouldn't be eating whatever you want. And in a world that is full of so much unhealthy food.
I think that's the issue. We say everything in moderation, right? We're like, okay,
it's impossible to be in moderation.
But it's so hard because you're right, because it's like everywhere. Like everywhere we look, it's fucking processed food. It's chips, it's garbage, it's burgers.
So easy too.
Like it's literally, and actually we this is funny that we're coming back to this because we've talked about this before in the podcast, whereby we've created a society now, at least in Canada and a lot of the Western world, where you actively have to choose not to eat shit. Like literally you have to take a step back and think, okay, hang on a second.
And it's harder.
Exactly. Like our lifestyle has become so bad in North America, especially in terms of like working at a desk job. Most people have a desk job. You're sat at a desk all day. You're sitting around the car. You drive around everywhere. Like the amount of, what do they call it? You're following a
sedentary. You're sedentary.
Yeah. So many of these things that you actually, as a member of society now, you have to force yourself to go work out. You have to push yourself to do stuff.
Yes, which brings us to our first point.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming because we have to do things the hard way if you want to be healthy.
Yeah, well, exactly. Because it's not like there's so many, just like a plethora of all healthy options for us.
And we forgot to mention in the beginning when we were complaining about our lives, we forgot to mention the cooking aspect of it.
Yep.
Because again, we don't want to be eating out all the time, although that would be easy.
Yeah.
But that means we have to cook, which takes extra time,
yeah.
which takes, grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning up, fucking dishes, all of these things, which actually, if we didn't do any of that and we got takeout every day, we don't have to do dishes. We don't have to go grocery shopping. We can eat and we can get the food delivered to us.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot easier for us to do that.
This is true. But then going back to the other point about finances,
and being healthy and keeping a physique, whatever. But anyways, so this is why I do think in some ways, when dietitians are pushing too much of this, intuitive eating or just eat what you feel like and you'll just naturally not eat so much. I just think that's just bullshit.
I know.
No,
unfortunately in today's society, we cannot do that. We have to actively make these decisions. Yes, you can treat yourself. Can you treat yourself every day? No, unfortunately you can't. Like if you're having a burger a fucking burger and fries every single day,
and the more you eat these foods, these foods are addictive, right?
Yeah.
This decades of food science, food research to make these foods as addictive and delicious as possible. So once we have that burger, once we have those chips, We know that feeling. We want more. We don't just want a little bit.
I'd be interested to like go back in time before the invention of like McDonald's and all the fast food.
When people ate like real food and stuff?
Just to see like what it was like, like.
Well, people just had more time as well at the time. It wasn't as complicated, I feel like.
Well, life wasn't as crazy.
I mean, maybe it was.
We didn't have like all this stuff.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't as crazy. We had too much stuff going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a theory that, like a lot of people have ADHD. And some people are saying that, and I kind of feel like it's kind of true.
It's a product of our society.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
not really that people have attention issues. It's that we have to pay attention to so many different things that it is overwhelming for the majority of people. So we really all probably have some kind of attention. It's not a disorder. It's more of like the system.
Well, and also, I don't know if you were in my, because I'm pretty sure I saw this in a marketing class.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember when they like basically took 3 people and they bombarded them with ads the entire way that they were going to this like interview?
Oh, no. Okay.
So there's 3, I think it was 3, or maybe it was 2 people. No, I think it was 3. And basically the whole way, it was like a very controlled experiment, but the people didn't know.
Right.
All they knew is they're going to this this place
Sure.
for this interview. And as part of this interview, they had to like come up with a campaign for this particular product.
Okay.
Right. So let's say the product was a Fitbit watch.
Sure.
So the whole way there, the 3 of them got bombarded with all of these ads. And like the thing is, they were saying, like, I can't remember what the stat is. It's probably even higher now. They're like, every day we're bombarded with like 3,000 plus images.
Crazy ads.
Which is insane, right?
And this is before, like when we did our marketing class, this is like when social media wasn't as big.
This is true.
So it's probably increased now.
It's probably even more.
Mm-hmm.
So even back then. So these 3 people separately get to the interview or get to this thing, come up with the campaigns. And again, none of them knew exactly like could pinpoint what ads they'd seen on the way, because you just kind of ignore them half the time. It's kind of like to the back of your brain, unless it makes a really big impact on you. You see so much of this shit that half of it we just don't even think about. Anyway, so all 3 of them, their ad for this particular let's say Fitbit, was so eerily similar, because they'd all been influenced by this way to work, and none of them knew. They were like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah. And then they started just pulling out the images that they had showed them. Right. And it helped shape this campaign that they all kind of thought the same.
So they were very much influenced by these ads and all the campaign. Right.
Subliminally influenced. Yeah. It was, I got chills when I saw it. I remember just being like, what the fuck?
I know, it's so messed up.
And what I took from that though is just the fact that I agree with you. ADHD, our attention spans, everything, there's a reason why they're getting shorter. Yeah. Because we're just bombarded with too much stuff. And we're animals at the end of the day, right? Like we respond to stimulus, right? Like there are certain things, like even like now that we're on our phones until late at night, like our eyes and our sleep patterns are getting messed up, because our body naturally, when the sun starts to go down, we produce a chemical that helps us like start to feel sleepy, right? And we're fucking with that. There's so many different things. Oh God.
God damn. We've covered our horrible diet, our horrible ecosystem that's crumbling. Yep. Oh God.
And the last one to leave you guys on.
And now we're gonna cover another horrible thing.
Yeah. So this was recent. So this happened.
This happened like a few days ago.
Yeah, on Friday. New York City and the surrounding area was hit by a significant earthquake and multiple aftershocks on Friday, which is, I've never actually experienced an earthquake before.
Oh, I experienced it in Hawaii.
Really?
It was very brief. Yeah. And it was very, I remember like we're in this house, and then all of a sudden it was just like this very loud kind of like, I don't know, like it just kind of, yeah. And then I was like, ah! But then that was it. It was like one kind of like shake.
What were you like, Rose?
We're like, earthquake!
That doesn't surprise me.
It was freaky though.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, and this also like a huge earthquake happened in Taiwan as well, like a few days ago. So 3.8 magnitude aftershock hit 37 miles west of New York City, which I feel like it's not common in New York to get an earthquake.
I don't think so.
I've never really heard of.
This is the first I remember hearing of. The impact was felt all throughout the tri-state area, Philadelphia, as far as Baltimore. The
tri-state area. Why is this such a common, like, what do they mean by a tri-state area? Does that mean there's 3 states that are connected? Okay. They always say the tri-state area.
Yeah, because it's like a really famous like area.
But is it just one area? I think that's generally there. Is that a area, general?
That 3 tri-states all just touch each other.
Yeah, but they're not just like when you say tri-state, it doesn't just mean New York, Philadelphia, and or is that what they mean by tri-state? Well, Americans, please explain what is a tri-state area, because there's this guy, like, just to digress.
Yeah.
There's this guy on TikTok that's like Australian, and he does like I don't know, like funny skits or whatever. And one of his skits is basically, this is what Americans sound like to non-Americans.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, yeah, so one time I was in the senior prom in the tri-state area, and
Yeah.
you know, as a junior in school, and you know, and then I met this sophomore, and we went to the, you know, like just all of these like Americanized words, and I'm like, what the fuck is a tri-state? Like, is it one specific area, or is it generally
but I think
the
it
tri-state area?
I think it means when three states. It
Right.
does mean when three
So
states
general
touch, but it
state-
could be in different areas
Right.
too. There must be other tri-state areas. I don't think it's
Must
just
be,
that
right?
one. I think that's
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
most famous because it's like by New York.
You just made that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of the largest earthquakes on the East Coast in the last century.
Damn.
We're taking this extremely seriously, and here's why.
Are we?
There's a possibility of aftershocks. We have not felt the magnitude of this type of earthquake since about 2011. This is one of the largest earthquakes on the East Coast. But has there been like a lot of damage? Like, I don't know what's happened.
They're saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's happened, but
Yeah.
officials say if people see cracks in their homes, okay. I mean, I don't know if there was like a huge damage.
Impacts of
Let's
the
see.
quake. Temporary ground stops for airports.
Mm.
They're shaken up.
But like, that's kind of scary. Like, imagine if we had an earthquake here.
That would be weird.
That would be fucking weird. And
Okay.
we would freak the fuck out.
Of course I would. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, what is happening?
What would we do, Rose? Yeah, exactly.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's-
And I don't know how people live in areas where
That are
there's
prone.
earthquakes all the time.
Yeah.
That would freak me out.
I think like, yeah, that would be weird. I don't know. But because like, I think San Francisco's in like an earthquake
yeah.
zone, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think that part of the problem with that area too is like, I think California is like on a separate plate.
Okay.
That's like moving, and eventually
Oh.
it will like break away from the U.S.
Really?
But this is like over like millions of like a
Right.
really long time. I don't know a million years, guys, but like I remember like part of it is like California eventually will be, because remember
Right.
we're all on these like floating plates,
Right,
Rose?
right.
Yeah.
right. God, it's so weird.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
fucking, when you think
Yeah.
about the concept of the Earth and like we're just like floating on this like
I
magma
know.
core that like pulls us in with the force of gravity.
and
like,
we're
it's-
floating in the universe.
yes.
What the actual hell?
We're like literally a piece of dust in the universe.
I know.
Fucking floating around the sun. Like,
Yeah.
and the sun is
Oh
just
God,
floating.
Daniel, we do not need an existential dread
We do not. Guys,
end to this episode, but we
thankfully I
just
wasn't
gave you that.
stoned.
So
Yeah.
you're welcome for once another. Oh, once another. What am I
Once
saying?
another.
You're welcome for another doom and gloom episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
And we hope everyone in New York is safe and you're doing all right, guys.
My God, how freaky! Let us know if you are in New York in the
Yeah.
comments. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. Let us know what it was like.
Mhm.
Okay, because that's
That's
fucked
scary
up.
as hell. And guys, as always, if you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, show us some love in the comment section down below. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, don't forget to hit that follow,
Yeet.
because then you get updated as soon as new episodes
Yeet.
go live. And of course, guys, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. You get exclusive content. Every single month we do an exclusive episode. You also get every episode a week early and a week earlier than everyone else. And all of the episodes are ad-free as well.
Okay, I have one extra little thing.
Oh, yeah.
I want to share a story.
Okay.
So
Share a story.
I went to watch a movie yesterday. It was a Korean movie, which has gone fucking viral in South Korea.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
It's called Exuma. Okay. EXHUMA. Anyways, I'm watching this movie. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like about shamanism and shit. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Anyways, watching it in theaters, great. And I'm watching this movie. And backtrack, a few weeks ago, my mom was telling me that, so my mom used to be a teacher in South Korea, and she was a teacher for like, I don't know, like 10 plus years. And she was saying that this actress in South Korea is her former student.
What?
I know. And
That's
she's quite
crazy.
famous. Like, she's been in a lot of like shows and like, and then she basically found out because I guess she heard that this actress used to live in like basically this area of Korea that my mom was teaching in.
Right.
And then she kind of like put the two and two together. And then she found like a class picture of like, and she's in that picture.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this movie and I see this actress and I'm like, this woman looks so familiar. At the very end, I took a picture of when you get the credits,
Yeah.
I took a picture of her. There was like a picture of her face and her name. So I took a picture of that. And then it's that actress. She's in the movie, which is like now it's like breaking all kinds of records.
God damn.
I know, my
but
mama.
the movie wasn't good, you said.
Well, I did not like this movie. Okay, it was weird. It was very fucking like shamanism. Like, I don't mind a shamanism sort of movie, I guess, but it took it a little far.
Okay,
it was ridiculous. Okay,
interesting.
It was giving like extremely unrealistic.
Right. like kind of like really
like anime like sort of.
Okay, that's
weird, just like ridiculous things happening. I don't know. Some people really liked it. I mean, clearly it's very popular. I don't like a lot of things apparently that are very popular. Anyway, guys, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah.
That's a fun story. If you want to see, wait, what's the actress's name? Let me find it.
Yeah, find it. Let people know.
I mean, she's in Korea. She's quite famous, I believe. I don't know about in other parts of the world. Let's see. Kim Sun Young, Sunyoung. There you go.
Perfect.
Very famous. My mom used to teach her when she was in grade school.
Wow.
How cool.
That is cool.
I know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.